Good morning, my dear children. Welcome all of you again to this video session where we have already dealt with the formation of the frequency distribution table for the small values given. If the values are or the range of the values is of large size, how to group such a data? Here we are going to study about such formation of a frequency distribution table. And I told you that we have to group the data, and we have to include all the values under different classes. And how to calculate this class midpoint or mark? So I have specified already how to calculate the lower limit and the upper limit of the classes, isn't it? Yes. So if values are given, I told you that its minimum value we have to take as the lower limit, and the maximum value we have to take as the upper limit of that data. And we have to suppress the given information under different classes, and we can group such a data. And here are some rules for the grouped data. What all we have to take care while forming such a grouped data. The rule number 1, we have to choose the classes. You will normally be told how many classes you need. Children, according to the range of the values, we have to determine the how many classes we need. If it is of big difference between the values, we have to take classes according to the differences in the values. And the next one is rule number 2, choose class width. That is, always round up to the next whole number. And rule number 3, mutually exclusive. This means the class limits cannot overlap or be contained in more than one class. That is mutually exclusive. The next one is rule number 4. Even if there are no values in a class, the class must be included in the frequency distribution. There should be no gaps in a frequency distribution, with the exception of a class with 0 frequency. Children, for example, if it is the range is from 1 to 100 means we have to take a small class interval. We have to form different classes using a small class intervals. So if it is 1 to 100 means we cannot form many classes, 20 or 30 classes. So what we have to do? We have to form a small interval classes. And if it is 1 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, in that manner, so succeedingly we can just form till 100. Understood? And what is given in the rule number 4 means, if the value, for example, 12 is not there, but we have to form a class, Yes, 11 to 20. Understood? So that if even the values are not there, we cannot skip out the particular class interval. We cannot jump from one class to the next class So in that consecutively we have to what form according to its what sequence only. In infinite jumps we cannot jump from one class interval to the next class interval. Understood? Yes. So that is the rule number 4. And what is rule number 5? There should be enough classes to accommodate all of the data. So I told you the range is 1 to 100 means enough classes should be there to include all of the values given in a raw data. That is the rule number 5. And what is rule number 6? Equal width. This avoids a distorted view of the data. That means I told you that the width of a class interval, that is 0 to 10, that is actually a particular class interval's width. So what is that? Equal width means for all the classes the interval should be of equal in appearance also. Right? Because if one class interval is of small interval and if the next class is interval of large interval, what happens to its appearance? That is, it avoids a distorted view of the data. Understood? Yes, that is the rule number 6. Example is given here. The total home runs hit by all players of each of the 30 Major League Baseball teams during the 2002 season. Construct a frequency distribution table. So what is given here, children? It is the home runs hit by the all players. Here we can see in the column it is given here the teams and the particular home runs hit by the Major League Baseball teams. So what we have to do for that? Yes, we have to put all these scores and we have to form a group data. So here we can see, children, that is approximate width of each class. How to find out the width? That is the next thing that we have to take into consideration. Because if values are given in a big size, we have to take the maximum and we have to take the minimum value. Yes, here we can see that 230 minus 124 divided by 5 equals 21.2. Now we round this approximate width to a convenient number, say 22. Then our classes will be, here we can see how many classes are there? 5 classes are there. Understood? Yes, that is 124 to, that is 22 differences, 22 number differences. So 124 to 145. The next one is, 146. Here we can see in all the class intervals, in all the classes we can see the intervals only 22 number. Right? Yes. The 5 classes are here and we can see the differences are also same only for all the classes. So here the class interval is, what is that? 22. Here we can see the frequency distribution for the data of the table. Here we have suppressed our information under different classes and we have formed the frequency distribution table for such a data. And here also, as if in the same, I have told about the what frequency distribution, how to form. So here we can see the 124 to 145. So how many numbers in between 124 to 145 we have to count from this data, and accordingly, we have to mark as what in the frequency column as numbers and in the tally its representations. Yes, I told you that here after 4 we have to slash the number 1 and after we have to start 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, then the slanting 1 upon the all together, and next we have to start the 1. So in this manner we have to find for tally tally marks as well as frequency for all of the classes, and at last we have to, here we can see the under sigma f. So what is the meaning of sigma? Means it is the total of all the values comes under the frequency. So if we sum up all the values, we can see the number is 30. Yes, if you add together all the values given under the frequency, the sum of values is 30. So how many numbers are there in that? 30 numbers are there, and we have, yes, I told you that we have suppressed the given big information under different small classes, and it's able to find out the frequency distribution table. So children, this is the manner how to find out if the range of the data given is of large size. We have to include the values under different classes, and the thing that we have to take care is the class interval should be of equal width. Then only it will be of what, otherwise distorted view of the data also. So to avoid such distortions, we have to calculate at first the class intervals, and on the basis we have to form the different classes, and we have to form the frequency distribution table. So children, I hope the explanation for this frequency distribution table is precise for you. So thank you children for watching this video.